Alright. A little bit early. I'm in my call. So, I'm going to get my Pokemon going. Alright. Thank you for saving my progress. Alright, I have to do that. Alright. You know what? I'm going to get this Charmander. Oh, you're doing bad against Magmar. At this point, I'm just like, okay, you know what? I'm going to catch it. Now we're going to catch it. Okay, Bud Ball didn't win. Go Great Ball. See? Exactly. Probably get more Ultra Balls. Yay! Ultra Ball got him. Can't use Fire Spitter. Go with Dragon Aims is just rough. Yeah, Trogdor. Trogdor. Alright. Let's go over to here. And I just spent all of it last weekend reorganizing all the boxes. I was having a belch. Alright, how do I get up here, guys? Do I have your... Alright, going down the thing. These are all caught in the terrarium, these sons of guns. I want to smack him. I want to smack him. I'm going to look this up. Still want to smack him. Just want to go smack, smack. Looking at stuff, dealing with. Just my dog. Just be my dog. Alright. Hey, I gotta find Rapados? The Bestial Den. Son of a gun. And I also have to get in the Magma Zone. I know where the Magma Zone is. Yes, wonderful die. In the right area. Check, Wig. Do I have you already? Yes, I do. I am going to. Game. We are not doing the false mask ball. You know these things are printable. Don't know. Let's Yay! What is a good name? Joy works for me. Alright. Spin the box. I've seen mine and I don't have mine. I've also seen a Magma Zone, but I don't have the Magma Zone. Oh, that's a Joltik. Oh. Deeper into the Galvantula area. I turn no. I don't want to. Them speed. Speed them. Ah, that's good. Well, that's just cool. Is that a mine? Yes. It's an item. We'll have to both. Oh, fine. Did joy I have to have sad? I don't have you yet. I have fought you, but I do not have you. If I have the nope. Yeah. I think my friend Suki's about to go do Simmons. Don't know I did the other one as Gurren-Lagann, but And I don't know if that's how you actually spell Simone. It is a chest spin. Yep, dang it, chest spin. Alright, what do these fastballs do? Yeah, I figured that would be the case. Okay. Okay. Oh, I didn't name it. I did one too many times and didn't really think. Oh well, stuff was distracting me. The cat wanted out because the cat being like, but I want to get brain. The dog is his friend. Yes, I know. Weird. Where's that in the right areas? It is. Aha! Okay. Already got the Rotom. No, guys, can't get away. Can't get away from the Blissel. Blissel, come. Grab him. Oh, sweet googly moogly. Look at all them. I hate possibility of being unusual. Well, I know the only way up then. Hello! How are you, creature? You stuck, I can't hear you.
Oh, let's try that. There we go.
Howdy!
Man, computers hate me this weekend.
Well, that's kind of thinking. Well, aside from that, how's your week been?
Yeah, it's actually been pretty good.
Yay!
How about you?
Yeah, I had to work 9 hours on Friday, an hour before I was scheduled because I was being kind to the other maintenance person who had family stuff going on this weekend and had to start on that Friday. So I had to unload truck as well.
Oh, cool.
And it was in 0 digits. Sorry, in single digits. I'm that tired that I forgot. Wait, just because it's near 0 doesn't mean it's 0. So,
And also, zero is a digit, so that would be misleading also.
yes, I figured. But yeah, basically, it's like it outfroze the freezer. In wind chill,
Oh,
not
cool.
yeah.
Wait, what does your freezer run at?
It normally runs at -5, but that is contained -5, not wind blowing in -5.
Okay, fair.
That is just the thing of it because I had to have the freezer open. I also had to have the walk-in open, and that should not go below 32. The lowest I saw, 20. And that is stuff that should not be frozen.
Got it.
I'm also dealing with the sad puppy that can't be in my room because I put a gate up that he is very much like, but I want to love. I want snuggles.
Too bad.
Yeah,
how is streaming going?
actually pretty good. Yesterday, it actually leveled out. And his thing, the drop frames, they were just the same percentage. So I went, huh? But now I'm all green. I think OBS is being OBS. It's weird as always.
You got a Metang.
Yay!
I just opened up Twitch.
That's all good. Right now I'm trying to find the Magna Zone. Home for the Dragon Challenge. And is this not a place to look for a Magna Zone? Because it's got electric types, it's got Magnemite, take the trio of Magnemites. I know it's Magneton, but you know.
Yeah. I think you're better off evolving it.
Alright, that means I have to be in a specific place, but I have to catch a Magneton first and then do it because of the whole situation. Oh, there's a tiny one.
Or you can use a Thunderstone.
Oh, right, Thunderstone is the thing. Yeah, but this is part of the dragon in trial where I have to catch it in the terrarium, not just bring it in. Because they planned ahead on that. And I'm like, You know what? Fair enough. Good job. You're smart enough to be like, people will just try and circumnavigate this. So, see the...
Wait. So you're looking for a Magnemite to evolve into a Magnezone.
Well, I'm going with Magneton, just so I only have one step instead of having to level it up and then do it.
I'm sorry, how many rare candies do you have?
Enough. Oh look, there's one right there.
There you go.
I'm having a little bit of an adventure. Let's see if the repeat ball goes, because I have got you before. Yay! Okay, and for the Magnezone, is it just holding the thing or any trade?
For Magnezone?
Yeah. Going for Magnezone.
Should be just a Thunderstone.
Alright.
Or leveled up in the magnetic field area.
Don't think this would count, but fair. Alright. You know what? Just because I'm silly. I'm naming it Adventure.
Or you can name it Francois.
Ooh. Well, that is tempting. How do you spell it?
Man, I gotta look up everything for you, don't I?
I'm sorry, creature. Oh. Well, dog came through the gate. It wasn't really that locked. Dog saved. Hey, he said
this is Francois.
I can do like the Fran, but the Swa is where it's doing it.
I just had it. Hang on, I just had it.
Now that's F-R-A-N?
F-R-A-N S-W-A-H.
F-W-A-H?
S-W-A-H.
S.
I think there's multiple ways, and the way I want it spelled is probably different.
Alright, I'm going to add you to the party. Put the flame duck away. And now we just pump it full of rare candies. I'm kind of happy that at least the journey that we have been on in our silliness is somewhat recorded. I did miss like a week or two because I think I got either too busy or got mildly depressed. I forget which.
Creature!
And we have a call.
Hello.
Creature! Toba!
Hello, Cole.
How's it going?
Good. I'm doing Pokemon right now. Creature hopped in. Willie able to join me if need be, but right now I'm taking on a silly thing.
Nice. I just popped in on my phone because I haven't settled in quite yet. I just got home.
Ooh, where? Oh, right, train.
Yep. Oh, that reminds me. I succeeded in winning an eBay auction of a photo of the station that I work at circa 1953.
So, was it an upgrade or a downgrade from what you're currently at?
The original station was nicer.
Okay, and remember, I am streaming, hence why I didn't say anything.
Good. I kind of figured as much. That's why I tiptoed around the name.
No, I know.
I know you tend to stream the Pokemon, so
Well, again, it's one of
I
those...
am-
Let's see.
creature.
Hey. And I'll be back. Mhm.
I am currently fighting with new computer issues because I spent a lot on myself because I'm old.
Hell yeah, new computer.
Yeah. I posted it in the TBS tech support chat, but this thing is currently the bane of my patience,
Oh no.
and it's self-inflicted.
What's so irksome about this one?
So again, self-inflicted.
Uh-huh. Did you put Linux on it?
Let me get my thoughts together because it actually upsets me that I did this.
Okay.
So, or you can go back and read it. But I have a bunch of the same looking drive for different purposes of my computer, and I was going to use one of them to act as a boot drive for a friend's computer he said he's going to buy for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to use another one as a play drive, and I was going to do another one for my boot drive, which I was going to transfer the data off of.
Uh-huh.
From that information, I want you to guess which one I grabbed to wipe.
Oh no.
In 10 seconds, total loss.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Everything?
Not everything,
Okay.
because most of everything important was offloaded already.
Okay.
That's good. But like, god damn, that sucks.
There are a couple programs I have lost licenses for, so I'm probably gonna have to rebuy.
Oh no.
Please tell me you didn't lose Adobe.
I might have a backup of the morally questionable means of acquiring it.
Okay.
That's good.
Do we
Because
have
what
a
does
short?
Cole
We
always
have a
say
short.
regarding Adobe?
What wait, what do I say?
It's something. It's the trendy thing to say in regards to Adobe, in terms of their licensing.
Yeah, I use the older versions that I can fucking download because I ain't paying so much a month for the damn thing.
There you go.
Y'all are smarter than I, because I'm still paying for it.
Adobe
Yeah.
is the only program that is okay to pirate. Is the joke.
Yeah.
Valid,
Like,
honestly.
you-
It really is.
Yeah.
I should be pirating it, but I am not.
I mean, I remember back in the day when I got my first bamboo tablet, you fucking get elements with the tablet.
I'm not saying I'm doing
yeah.
that. I'm just saying that that is
By the
something
old
that is backed up.
Yep.
So, yeah. You know, the funny thing is, I'm actually not doing it. Because I use a Samsung Galaxy tablet to do all my drawing on, and you get Infinite Painter for $10.
Oh,
Okay.
damn.
Yeah. Also, the stuff that I've done, well, at this point last year and a few on the road things, I have access to like layers, but it's only like 2. Then I have to pay. But as soon as I merge a layer, oh look, I can do another layer.
Wait, so what are you using, Toe? Are you using stuff on the tablet?
Yeah. Let me just pull it up over here because.
I'm gonna hop over to my computer real quick.
Because I did the schmutty pants thing of getting a headband that has speakers in it, so when I'm at work, I can listen to music.
Yeah.
Is it from Aftershocks?
No, it's normally for sleep wear, but they also have a stocking cap.
Oh, it's an actual like headband thing.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. So like Toa, if you're using like, so when I say tablet, if you're using like I am like an Android tablet, right?
Yep.
I've got two suggestions for you. Either look up something like Infinite Painter, or get Krita.
No, I think yes, I do have Infinite Painter.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
so-
like the other option is Krita, which is
Krita.
Krita,
Yeah.
which is free actually, and not too bad. I haven't had much chance to play with it, but I've got a laptop set up with Mint, and I haven't jumped through the hoops to get Paint Tool Sai 2 working on the laptop yet, but like you can get Krita on Mint.
Mhm.
It just like there's a Linux based version of Krita that you can get. Plus, the funny thing I found out is the Mint Linux, well, the Mint distro I have recognizes bamboo tablets out of the box.
Ooh, nice. By the way,
No fancy hoops.
Creature, the headband and stocking cap I have is Yoga U. YOGERYOU.
Okay.
It's basically just got a pause, play, volume up, volume down, skip, and you know, standard little 3-button setup.
Yeah.
It's very handy to be hands-free. It also says it can do talk calls, but I'm like, not likely, especially if you're out in public.
Yay! My water cooler is no longer blinking red at me.
Yeah, that's good.
I was about to
actually.
say,
Yeah. What was it do? What do you know? What was wrong with it, or was it just?
Yeah, I'll deal with that later. Let me look at the dashboard. The initial issue I had was I didn't understand how you plugged everything together to be like one weird daisy chain because it's a new system. So the pump didn't work. So in the BIOS I was seeing 78 degrees.
okay, this is for the computer. Got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do not.
I will say I was confused about that one too, but yeah, no, it makes sense. Yeah.
But now it is running fine.
Perfect.
Yes.
You already have it very
Yeah. But Toa, if you want to try a free ARP program on the tablet, I think Krita is actually free on on Android, so. And I think you can get more like layers out of Krita than just the 2, so.
Oh, I can imagine.
I can confirm Krita is a nice alternative.
Yeah, exactly. I want to sit down and try it some more. Where like I say, where it's just easier to use on Linux than Paint Tool Sai, because of funny things around Paint Tool Sai.
Yeah, sure. If we can do any BBQs just for the heck of it, that can be done.
They had to wait a bit. I still haven't got to a place where I can stop yet.
No, I figured.
Yeah.
I
I've
figured
got
for the moment I was the only one really doing this because you got other stuff going down.
Yeah, I shouldn't be. Hopefully, I shouldn't be too long. Well, actually, I see my turn coming up here. Yeah, that guy's got his head. I'm trying to figure out what's happening beside me. That guy's got his high beams on. Anyways, yeah, oh good. Somebody on the shoulder too.
Oh, still be careful out there. Even though So I haven't had snow. I've known places. That's Snivy. I'm getting you, Snivy.
Yeah. I wouldn't. So I'm not too. I'm actually not too worried about the snow right now because there is no snow. The roads are just black and it's well below freezing. That's what I'm worried about.
Yep. Because because of how cold it's been over here, we still have snow from like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Somebody was mentioning that. I'm noticing, like, I've just come down from New Brunswick and it's getting colder the further south I go.
Huh.
Though it's getting later too, but like, it was minus, I think it was like -6 to -8 up in Woodstock, and I'm down on the 90 going through Massachusetts right now, and it's -10.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Woodstock.
New Brunswick.
New Brunswick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
Nouveau
sorry.
Brunswick.
When you say you're going through Massachusetts, like, wait a minute.
Yeah. No, right now I'm going through Massachusetts, but
Well,
I'm not sure where
Out
I'm
of
near right now.
curiosity, did you take the route through New Hampshire or Maine or sorry, which way?
Well, I took the short, so I've just been following the 95 all the way down so far.
Okay.
I don't have to. Oh, sure. You would be somewhat proud of me. I actually organized my box over Sunday last week.
It takes a lot sometimes, yeah, I know.
Oh, and the fact that I'm catching Pokemon and they're filling up empty slots in the first box, meaning I have to ship them around.
Yeah. I still haven't had any luck on my shiny hunts. Or my shiny egging because I decided I wanted to make my life hell again.
Why do you keep making your life hell?
I want the shiny snake and another shiny Poplio. I must have all the shiny Poplios, along with all the regular Poplios. I'm just gonna have a whole pile of Poplios. This one's actually gonna be called Io because the last one was gonna be called Io, but I changed the actual OC character around and it became Vesta, so Vesta was that shiny, Io's gonna be the next shiny. If you ever looked at the naming conventions I use for my Poplios, you'd probably notice a pattern. We've got Callista, we've got Callisto, Ceres, Ares, Io, Vesta. Notice any patterns
You're
yet?
just going after all the gods, aren't you?
You're close, but you're off. What's the game called that Poplio was in? What's the 2 games?
Sun and Moon.
Sun and Moon. You know what my first Poplio was named?
I don't recall.
Luna.
You're going astrological, aren't you?
Yeah, it's all moons and planet and small and dwarf planets. I gotta check some stuff here for a second. Crap, I forgot about this. I need to make sure I'm hitting the right exit as I come down through here. 84 begins, and then
Okay, time to get an actual good background up on this thing.
I'm looking for an exit up here that's gonna fly. That's gonna pilot beside. You got a pilot on it, so I can get fuel and lift my axle. Because I'm trying to save some time by heading through Connecticut, but you can't have 3 axles on the ground in Connecticut.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yep, that'll be good.
Yeah.
That.
One of the odd things it does create a weight issue too, usually, which is why we don't bother with that.
let's
But
see.
everything on the
Sorry, I'm
trailer
mumbling
tonight
to
is
myself.
no, that's all right. Everything on the trailer tonight is very light. So I am assuming, I didn't do the math completely, but I am assuming I'm all right to go through Connecticut.
I could never get behind trucking as a profession. Not because it's a bad profession, it's just you have to know almost every law in every state.
You have to have the bare minimum of knowledge of them. Like usually up in Canada, they're not as bad with the changing laws. Quebec likes to be different.
Well, that's
Ontario
Quebec.
likes to pretend. Yeah, Ontario. I've noticed with a lot of stuff. Ontario likes to pretend that they are the United States.
Really?
Yeah, some of their laws are very similar. They're like the driver's licensing in Ontario is the same as the U.S. and as far as I know, that's the only province where that is. So Canadian driver's license use a number system. They don't have we technically don't have a CDLTM. We have a Class 1, a Class 2, and a Class 3 driver's license. I've got a Class 1, which clears me for any vehicle with any amount of axles outside of a school bus and a motorcycle. The school buses because the federal government has certain rules that you have to go over for school buses. And the motorcycle makes sense because a motorcycle and a car aren't the same thing. A bunch of different skills for that. But yeah, no, as far as I know, the licenses are from 1 to 14. 14 being a tractor's license, 13, or what is it? I forget exactly what they are.
Well, right now I'm...
No, it's not 1 to 14. Yeah, go ahead. I'm just confusing myself.
No, you're good. Currently, I have a cat talking to a dog. The dog upset because I locked the gate so that they're further back so they can lay down for the night. But I have apparently done a great injustice. How dare I put them to rest?
The cat being unhappy because it evolved for 5 minutes of the anime.
Well, also, it's just that they are actual friends. They actually hang out together.
I may have finished Sun and Moon. The Sun and Moon anime.
I know. I have the Rotom Dex. We have established this.
Yeah. Well, there's that. And the thing I was thinking of is the fact that Torcat evolved into Incineroar for like 5 minutes of the anime.
Did it revert back?
Nope.
No,
it's the end of the. It was the end of that story.
Boo.
So essentially, it evolved during Ash's Pokemon tournament match, and that was at the end of the anime.
Yeah. It evolved.
And guess who never evolved?
Rowlet.
Rowlet.
What is with
Because he... What?
I said, what is with Ash's grass Pokemon and not wanting to evolve?
Okay, for Rowlet, he's just dumb.
Yeah.
Because he swallowed the Moonstone, and that's how he used Bullet Seed.
Yeah. Everstone.
I
Yeah,
have to go. I'm being
Cole.
summoned. Have a good time in Pokemon. It's nice chatting with y'all.
That's always great.
If y'all are still
Always
going
good.
at it in a little while, I'll pop back in.
That's all good.
All right.
See ya.
Like,
See you later.
Ah,
Actually, I wasn't sure if I was gonna be going for just fuel up here or not, but I think unless they are reserved, there's a couple parking spots at the back of the parking lot here, so I think I'm just gonna stop here for the night, and with the way this place is set up, get fuel in the morning.
that's probably
Because you
for the-
fuel
that-
you
that's
fuel on the way back out.
it's probably for the best, given one, the area you're in, and two, it is about 10 o'clock there, I assume.
Or these could be all the reserved parking spots.
Well, one good thing about America, you find a gas station within 30 miles of each other.
Yeah. I'm half considering finding out how much they charge for a reserved parking spot. Well, no, not along this stretch. B, I'm actually considering just finding out how much they charge for the reserved parking spots and taking it, because the next option is the words fail me now. Why don't they? The next option for me to stop is the TA down the road, right? And the TA has no free parking spots; it's all charged. Though their regular spots are like, they're not really expensive, and their regular spots are kind of a lot of these truck stops will do a deal where it's like the spots are charged, but if you're not actually if you actually go in and say spend money, right, they won't charge you.
That makes sense, because they get money either way, and
Yeah.
they basically have set up their area to be like the Oasis.
Yeah, exactly. I get the. I was half thinking whether I was going to do that or not, but like, yeah, no, unless it's. Man, this sort of spots are tight. Where I'm out. Come on. One of these parking lots with tight spots. That's what she said. The place I'm getting into has like 3 spots open, so I'm not too worried about when I'm swinging, but let's... Come on, harder in. I'll get lots of room. I'll get lined up when I get back in. Come on. Do. Actually, one of the things I have on the road with me now that I got the battery is the second laptop thingy that I was going to put Linux on. The one that somebody sold me for $5 because the battery was dead and they didn't think they could get enough charge to get it started up again. Also, the thing I was locked out of when I got it charged up enough to get it started in because they didn't give me a password to their Windows 8. But I had no intention of putting Windows 8 on it, leaving Windows 8 on it in the first place, so I wasn't too worried.
Also, from what I recall, everyone hated Windows 8.
Yeah. I don't know, so like, I think the device, I don't know if the device could have taken Windows 10 or not. I think it's, I'm not sure exactly how old it is. It's not very new, so I'm trying something a little lighter on it, so.
So, if I recall correctly, anything after like 2 years is very much outdated.
That's not quite correct with Windows 10. Because Windows 10's been out longer, 2 years.
No, I'm talking about hardware.
Yeah, but the hardware operated on Windows 10 more than 2 years ago.
I know.
Yeah. The problem is you've got to figure out all of the new hellscape of bloatware that Windows put into Windows 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I'm going with Linux. Also, they're not. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, just saying I was going to dual boot Linux on this computer.
Yeah, that probably work well. Also, the other thing, like one of the other reasons why I'm not, I was going to say why I'm not worried about using Linux on this or Windows on this is because it's a little Asus tablet desktop thingy. It's not like a tablet, but it's like it's kind of a computer tablet that was running Windows 8 originally. The netbook size thing. It's I think it's got very little power to it. I'm not really gonna be doing anything. I'm not like running games or anything that would require that I think about having Windows on it to do on it, so more of a little toy, so well, I'm parked here, which means I gotta go up and get a tag. Find out how much they're charging too. I'll go and find out how much they're charging, use the washroom and stuff, and then either be back out here for Pokemon or, although I'm probably not gonna hang up, I'll just keep the headset on as I go in, or if they really want like an arm and a leg for parking, I'll go up the road. I don't actually, I was gonna say because I know what they charge up there, but I don't know, maybe the price went up, but it used to be $12. Also, there's an important thing I keep on forgetting to mention with this, which is it doesn't completely matter because the company will reimburse me for the bill for parking. Especially along this place, because once you leave New Hampshire, there's fuck all for truck stops.
Yeah.
Massachusetts is too good for truck stops, especially around the Boston area for some reason. And none of them are free parking.
I'm going with the excuse of historical significance.
Historical significance of what? Of the city?
Yep.
Not close enough for that to be the problem. Like,
hey, I said I was thinking of a bullshit excuse.
Yeah, you're talking like an hour away from the city in all directions, and there's nothing. You've got to go to another state in order to get good parking a lot of times. The turnpikes have some truck parking on them, but it's not usually the greatest. Some of the ones going into Boston aren't too bad, but what is that? It's 24. It's along the 24 and along the 95. There's a couple good ones, but they're also like filled almost all the time. I don't think I've ever. I think I managed to get a parking spot along the 95 through 95 around Boston. I think I managed to get a parking spot at one of their rest areas once, and that was like halfway through the day. So like, we're not even talking about at night when all parking evaporates anyways. I don't seem to be back in very far. I gotta double check that. That'll lift the axle anyways, so. Now I'm all the way back, I guess. I'm just a bit of a long boy. Actually, I know exactly what the problem is. It's a three axle flatbed, so the third axle is right at the back of the flatbed. Whereas a lot of time van trailers have a bit of length on them. See if they have any. Let's see if they have any. I was looking at their reserve park and I was trying to see if they have any numbers or anything on there, but no. Or any price numbers on there, but no. They'll tell me in the store though. I'll just make sure I got all my information I need. I mean, I got all my information I need. I have one of those things where there's certain things I can't remember, but odd things that I actually don't even need anymore, I do remember.
Selective
Like-
memory.
Yeah. So one of the examples, right, although it has saved me sometimes, is our truck uses electronic logs, so I don't have to input the truck information into the e-log because the e-log's attached to the truck. Like, if it wasn't that license plate and truck number, it'd be kind of useless because it's attached to only that truck. But I've got the license plate memorized anyways, for some reason. I haven't got all the trailers license plate memorized. And when I say memorized, I mean I've been built a Google Doc out of them, and they haven't bought any new ones for the last couple of years. They got lucky. Our company got lucky because before before COVID hit and there was a hard time getting truck equipment and stuff, right? Our company had already spent the 3 years before that buying a whole fleet of new trailers, so
I'd say
we already
that was
had all the
pretty
new trailers when it
pragmatic.
happened. Yeah. Well, actually, no, I think they've been staying in good shape too. They've had one problem with it, and it's an odd design of the trailers. So, like, unlike your cars at home, most of the time trucks and trailers will use drum brakes instead of disc brakes like you'd have in your car. There's a few different reasons for that, but one of the things our trailers do is they have disc brakes on them, and there's ups and downs from that. One of the ups in this type of weather is the brakes don't freeze. Drum brakes have a tendency to freeze in position. And then you got to get under the trailer with a hammer and tap at the brake until it comes unstuck. But the disc brakes don't freeze up. However, one of the problems they've found is that I think the owner made the decision that they've got to do a brake job on the trucks the trailers every 6 years because the disc brakes seem to wear out faster than the drum brakes do.
Yes, that is the downside of having disc brakes is you have to
Yeah.
replace them a little bit more frequently.
Yeah. However, I think he was discussing it at a meeting. I think he kind of decided that the advantages outweigh the disadvantages.
Especially that far north.
Yeah.
Because,
Here's
yes, if the truck's brakes fail, but the back brakes aren't working, the drag of the weight of the trailer will slow down the truck.
So what? Sorry about that.
I'm doing physics in my head.
If the
Because the trucks run on drum brakes, right?
yeah
But the trailer runs on disc, right?
yeah
So, in a hypothetical situation where the drums of the truck are frozen, but the disc brakes are not, and you have to stop, the trailer being heavier, not always, but you know what I mean, would slow you down, even if your front brakes are not working properly.
So I was kind of curious, so I had to listen to this out of curiosity. So here's the problem with that. Brakes freeze in the opposite direction. So like if you've been driving with your truck, it means your brakes aren't frozen. And because you're driving with your trucks, the brakes will stay heated. They're not going to freeze up. The brakes tend to freeze when you're stopped and parked, so when the park brake's applied. So what happens is you release the park brakes and your wheels don't move. So, like, I see what you're going at, but, like, yeah, no, that's usually not too much of a problem. usually if the brakes fail on the road, yeah, if the brakes usually fail on the road, it's because they've been worn down. Actually, one of the interesting things that I don't know how many people know is that if the airlines fail on the brakes, they have the opposite effect of what you might think they have. Because the park brake in the truck is what they call a spring brake. So it's a smart design too when you think about it. So the park brake on the truck is what they call a spring brake. It's a giant spring, giant high-powered spring. One of the things they tell you is to never open up one of the brake pods on there because that thing will just come out and kill you
Yeah.
at high speed.
Extremely.
But the way the park brakes work on the truck is they want to be applied. So the spring's pushing to apply, and you've got to put air pressure against it to release the brakes. So if you run out of air, the brakes lock up. They don't fail, they lock up. Because it fails to keep that spring brake up released. Kind of a smart idea too. Make it a safety feature, along with other stuff. And you pretty well guaranteed any truck any truck and trailer past the 80s will have those features in them. So I've seen one in 8 or 9 years. I've seen one trailer that hasn't had those type of brakes on them.
And what was the reason for it not being on them?
The trailer was from the 70s. It was cupped up well, but it was from the 70s, so they never had to have them added to it. And it was being used by a company that was doing, it was used by a roadwork company, so they didn't really need to keep it updated much. Anyways, I'm going to get my phone out here and mute for a second while I take care of the parking situation.
You good.
Yeah. And probably use the washroom, so you probably don't want to listen to that.
No, we probably don't.
Where is it? Right here. I'll just pin buttons and mute my end.
And Troy's muted. How you doing on yours, stuff, Preacher?
That's coming along.
That's good.
Yep, just logging into Steam. I need to. Oh, I forgot that game came out. I need to buy it.
Which one?
Pal World.
Yeah. The first day there was a little bit of a stink from content creators going, hey, you have this thing here that don't seem on the up and up, and they responded with, ah bad, we'll reword it to make it not be scummy. The thing was, they have the right to use any and all, like, gameplay posted online from content creators.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's one reason why it blew up in the... Okay, this is kind of sussy. They fixed it, but, you know... By the way, do you have a Bastiodon?
Shieldon?
Yeah, the Shieldon evolution. Because I need a Rampardos.
Maybe? Hang on. I'm gonna go with maybe not.
Well, I think that... Oh, I think it's because it's an exclusive. You know how they still split up stuff, which...
Yeah, or I haven't paid attention enough to look for it, or look to.
Yeah. Well, there
Yeah.
was the reason that some people got. I think you also would get this a mystery gift.
Yep.
Is because you cannot create a TM because you need Shieldon stuff, and Shieldon's an exclusive.
I do remember that. I had a good chuckle.
It's kind of fun whenever they have that realization of, did we make our lives harder? Yes, we did.
Oh, how long is it gonna take to move 350 gigs? Right now it's estimating 14 minutes.
Damn,
Man, I
you
love
got-
you.
But that's because you have dedicated drives to make sure everything's just that one thing.
Yes. Well, I'm moving things from USB-C external drive to an internal drive, and there is a beetle somewhere in my room, and I don't know where it is because I ignored it for too long.
Oh no.
Uh-huh. That's cool. I've been having a beetle problem lately.
Well, fight a spider, you won't have a beetle problem. And yes, I do realize
I bet.
that you now have a spider problem.
I'd rather have a beetle problem. It will show itself when it shows itself.
Whether that be crawling on the desk or you stepping on it one day.
It usually hangs out around like the walls and the window.
Makes sense.
And me and my dad are trying to figure out why in the world I keep getting him in my room. I never have my window open. Anywho, I'm gonna clean up my area real quick, and then I'm going to grab my Switch.
I'm still looking for the Bastio Dawn. Should be in the canyon area, but I've seen more starter Pokemon than should be common.
It's gonna be a happy day in hell.
But creature, we can't go to hell if we're already there.
No, we can just go to double hell.
Not double hell!
Also, have you seen Heaven Hotel yet?
I have not seen the new version of it.
No, it's not
Oh, the
the
original,
new.
the pilot.
It's not a new. No, it's not a new version. It's a show.
Well, you know what I mean, because people still refer to the pilot as the first Aspen Hotel.
Technically, is.
Yes. But then they had to change actors due to guilds and whatnot.
It's okay. They did the same thing with Hell of a Boss.
I thought that was already a guild show beforehand.
I don't know.
Well, I know they probably changed out like Millie, but that was because they're like, nah, that just doesn't work. Which, fair. No, I haven't, but and it sounds fun. Although you hear the story of the dude that paid a lot of damn money just to have animation of him with some fun activities. I don't know the full extent, but I'm just going to say fun to be very, very kind and democratic.
It's on YouTube.
I know.
Yes, I know about it, and that's really it.
Yeah, that's all I know about it as well.
Honestly, just a guy commissioned some work done from a animator, and it was ridiculous.
Yes, and I hope that animator got well paid.
You got paid $50,000.
I know. And in fairness, the animation looks pretty damn good, all things considered. At least from what I've seen. I sometimes wonder if people have too much money and not enough common sense.
That story proves that is in fact the case.
I know, and it's sad. Not calling the person sad, I'm just saying, damn.
You like that, the rap album cover? Damn.
I have wanted to do like the Steven Universe feeds of we're gonna have to kill this guy. Damn. I know that's not the full thing or the original, but that's definitely something that would add to it. Oh, the other day while being on Tumblr, you know that the comic strips with the two foxes that are adorably cute?
Comic strip with the two foxes that are adorably cute. I can't say I know what you're talking about.
Okay, basically they're worm-like bodies with fox faces. One is a lighter shade of blue, one is a darker shade of blue.
Yeah.
I
know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I found the Tumblr and just reading through it, I went, why do I get this as a coal and feather vibe? Because this has a coal and feather vibe. That could just be my own personal experience going, hey, I've seen this before. Trying to find stuff. How hard is it to find a freaking fossil Pokemon?
First, you gotta find the rock.
I know they're walking around here as if there's nothing wrong. But fair enough. Where's my pickaxe? I yearn for the mines! There's something neat I saw the other day. Hey, you know how Adult Swim technically took up half of Cartoon Network? Even though, same network and whatnot, but there's two different divisions. Well, they...
Adult Swim took Cartoon Network. No, I don't think that happened.
No, it did. They basically have a 50-50 split, I think.
That's weird, but okay. No, wait. Yeah, because Adult Swim was basically Nick at Night,
Yeah.
or it was the adult Cartoon Network. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Head back on track. Continue.
Okay. So, them actually being smart, reasonable people, I know, shocking, said, you know, we have these old cartoons that were made for the network that we don't have to pay for. So why don't we just run that in that earlier time slot for one, nostalgia, and two, that way we can still use that time to have ad revenue, but without having to deal with, you know, paying for new shows.
Okay.
And I saw that when I was watching a younger family member because their parental figure was coming home late, and they basically said, "This is checkered past," and I went, "You clever sons of bitches!" And it's just like little stills or little animations from the shows of like certain characters, like Johnny Bravo, the ads, Courage, just in real places, and just standing there while stuff's going on around them. And I'm like, okay, that's rather clever and a neat way to keep these shows on. You alright?
Yeah, no. You cold.
I know it's cold.
Yeah. I wonder how far down it is cold right now, because somebody said it's been surprisingly cold down through, so.
Well, if I do my little weather ass thing, that points to the left. Well, that's
Okay. I have given that plenty to do. I will deal with that when I get the last piece to the equation in the mail tomorrow.
my
Happy birthday to me.
Yay!
Happy birthday to you.
Also, I'm saying this right now. I have too many damn tech twigs running around here.
I'm just about back out to the trucks.
Oh, I'm trying to find the freaking Bastiodon short, and the Shieldons are not appearing, and the Bastiodons are not appearing. I've looked all over this canyon. I've looked in caves.
Okay, so I don't know why the Shieldons aren't appearing. They should be appearing.
Yeah,
Vascular.
yeah, the Shieldon.
Yeah. What else were you looking for?
Oh, it's because of the challenge. I think I have to have either Bastiodon and Rapados or just one of them.
Oh, so I'm trying to remember. So I think I know which one you're talking about. The problem is that I'm working my brain into it here in a second. The fossil Pokemon are version exclusive.
I figured that.
So you're looking for Shieldon.
Yep, and I was going to trade Creature for Rapados.
Yeah. Actually, when I get into the game, I can find out whether you're in the right area or not.
Oh, I'm looking online, it says Canyon Biome, and I'm like, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, I know. So they're in a specific place in the canyon biome. I actually do know where they are, so I have the forbidden information.
Forbidden information, you?
Did you know that before in terms
You gotta do the meme. You gotta do it. I am just happy Circuit's not here, mainly because he would be like, you ought to do that to my Flareon.
Short.
Yeah.
Short.
Yeah.
Give me a second. Give me a
No,
second.
no. Tipping, I don't need you.
I have something. There you are. I don't know how this got on YouTube, but oops. Copy to short. There you go.
Shut up, Dick.
To complete the redemption, please download the product verification tool. How about you go fuck yourself?
I have free showers. I have one free shower.
Man. I gotta go all the way back over here.
Take that receipt, put it in my box so I can hit it later.
I forgot I had a shield on from earlier. I'm still.
Grab the switch and take my boots off and start eating some food too. I grabbed some food while I was in the pilot, so. I picked up a whole bunch of frozen meals. I put them in the freezer, and they're still in the freezer at home. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, still there.
Okay, short your.
Oh, the headset disconnected. Give me a second here.
Yeah, it's all good. Well, looking at this, if you're going down.
Down to clown.
Yeah. Well, I'm checking here, and you're still not in Mass yet. You're in like New Hampshire.
Yeah. So the reason I'm wondering is because I'm going to Crash Suki's.
Ooh.
Not actually going to Crash Suki's, but my delivery is down in Georgia.
Ah.
So that's where this trip's going. I was just wondering if it's...
Well, at the current point, it's warmer along the coast, and there is a warm trend coming from the west, but that probably won't hit until at the very least Tuesday, if not Wednesday.
It was just that I'm actually wondering if maybe like we have one of these freak cold weather events that's happening further south than it usually does, and I'm going to be down wherever I am tomorrow night, stopped being like the only truck that's not idling because my truck actually has a bunk heater in it. Or if it's going to be like the Texas run and I'm going to be sitting there idling because my truck doesn't have any type of cooling in it for overnight. It's got the built-in air conditioning, and the built-in air conditioning requires the truck to be running.
You know, I would say that's kind of dumb, but I can understand why.
There's a way you can get around that, but it all has to do with like when they purchase these trucks, we're not down that far south as often as we are up north and stuff, so we have a diesel bunk heater. You can get a diesel generator that works similar to the bunk heater, uses more fuel but not very much at night, so would do the same thing but also allows you to have aircon. And there's other cooling stuff you can get, but like when they bought these trucks it wasn't that big of a problem, so they didn't bother chipping in for any of the cooling. I don't know if they've put it into any of the new trucks or not. I haven't got a new truck yet, but it's coming somewhere, so.
It'll be there, and it'll be as new as it can be.
I mean, it's probably going to be as new as possible. They tend to be that way. When I got into this truck, it had 300 kilometers, which is the distance from the dealership to our shop. So it's probably going to be fairly new when it shows up. They just tend to get old fast. So like when it comes to personal vehicle, this truck isn't very old. It's a 2017 Freightliner.
But due to how companies are run, if it's not within like the last 5 years.
That's actually not what the problem is. The problem is the engine has over 1 million kilometers on it. I'm gonna see how much that is, and give me a second here. I had to do some math here. Do something here for a second.
Well, let's see. It's at the very least several thousand miles.
It's a lot more than several thousand miles. It's been to the moon and back twice. Almost twice. So, like, it's a lot of hundreds of thousands of miles. It's probably somewhere around 800,000 miles, actually. Don't quote me on that one, but that would be a good guess. And at that rate, it doesn't really matter how many years old the truck is. It's just kind of long in the tooth at that point. They tend to start developing problems to the point where, although my truck hasn't been too bad, to the point where it gets cheaper to just replace them and sell them off to somebody at that point. Especially for the distances we travel. Like if somebody had like something where they were doing a lot of local work, the truck might not be too bad. But we don't do a lot of local work, and it gets expensive when a truck breaks down halfway across the country.
I know I've heard you talk about that multiple times.
Yeah. So they want to... So the other problem, too, is that usually they try to get rid of them at like 800,000 kilometers. But they couldn't buy trucks at that point.
I got to take care of something. I'll be back in a bit.
Alright, I'm actually starting to get my stuff kind of set up. I need to... You know what, I'm gonna put the little table thing once I figure out where I put it. Set that up, and I'm gonna put my food on that. I only have the healthiest meals. Truck stop egg rolls and a Southwest chicken sandwich. Truck stop Southwest chicken sandwich. Along with a Snapple. Might actually, before I do too much too, I might move some of the stuff around here so when I do decide to jump into the back, I don't have to do very much. I don't got a lot of space. I'm kind of hoping that actually comes with the new truck, because I might have something a little more roomier of a cab and a little more space.
Well,
Not sure exactly what type of truck they're giving me though. I gotta figure. I'll find that out eventually. Put that over there. Put the printer over here too. I just realized I still don't have that animated,
Which?
so I'm not sure if you heard about it. But 2 years ago at TrotCon, when Circuit was there last, I had stuck the picture of Circuit and the Voltorb on his door. I have a portable printer that I had with me that year. What I was doing is every so often, I would reprint the picture. Except I just kept on making Voltorb slightly bigger. Just to see if he realized it. I don't think he ever caught on until I mentioned it to him. I had mentioned it earlier to Blanked, and I don't think he noticed until I mentioned it to him. But yeah, no. I have pictures I took of the door, and I was gonna animate them. I still have the pictures I took of the door. I just never did the animation thing. Partially because the one downside with the program I am using right now, the Infinite Painter, is it doesn't have much animation tool. It's more just drawing.
Okay. You want to know the easiest way for that?
What?
A PowerPoint software. Where you time it to be animation.
That's possible, but I've got other programs I can use for animation.
I understand that,
Actually,
but if you were looking at something of what's a quick thing to do?
Actually, if I wanted to, one of the things I could do is I've got on a disk on a hard drive somewhere. I never put it on this computer. On my current laptop, I have a copy of Flash 8. So I could animate it in that fairly easy and then go with that. Also, though, I think Krita has animation tools, so I might just do that. I've got a copy on my tablet along with all the other programs. I've got several. The reason I was mentioning the art programs is because I've got several art programs on the tablet. Though the main one I use is crap, I probably could have used barbecue sauce. Oh well, I'll still use barbecue sauce on that. Get rid of this barbecue sauce so I can get some more of it. The Circle K barbecue sauce. Not too bad, actually. It reminded me of the funny fact. I don't know if I mentioned it to you guys. I mentioned it in several groups. I don't know if I mentioned it to you guys or not. The funny fact about Circle K. You got Circle K's down in your area?
Did long ago.
You can still find some in different places down south. I think there's some on the route down towards Georgia and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Circle K is one of those companies that's changed ownership several times. So apparently the story is that Circle K's original brand owners went bankrupt in I'm gonna say 1990. I think in sometime in the 2000s. Actually, it was. They're still all over the place in the U.S., but they're run out of Quebec. If you drive by one, you can now look at Circle K, shake your hand.
I am not
Shake your hands at them and go.
You Quebecians, I am not doing that.
I was gonna say, shake your hands at it and go the damn French.
Considering that there are probably several French people in the area there, probably look bad.
You know what? If you tell them you're talking about Quebec, they might just be like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, the poses.
Don't quote me on that one.
I won't.
I've had while trying to get repair work done on the road. I've had our maintenance manager go like the damn French and stuff like that, right? He's French. He's actually Acadian, so, or I assume he's Acadian, but like, yeah, no. The French, like so many others, are a good self-hating people sometimes. French regional things and stuff. I'm not too worried that much about it. They've been. I don't think they're doing anything bad. They're probably running those brands better than if they got sold out somewhere else. Their goals aren't too bad either. Actually, I gotta set up something while we're waiting for Preacher to come back. Because my game's still set up for the egg harvesting, egg exploiting I was doing earlier the other night. Or the egg exploiting I was doing last week. So, there's no actual eggs in my box, but I'm gonna do a sandwich up and get a bunch of eggs, and then if we have an egg event come up during our
Fun time, yeah.
fun times, I will have a whole pile of eggs. Actually, I also want to go catch Reshiram before we start. I'll get Sol Galeo later on. Apparently, Sol Galeo's been a headache for everybody.
Ah, so not just Preacher.
Oh, Sol Galeo has a tendency to kill himself. Because one of his moves is a recoil move. I found a whole article earlier today that was just like methods to keep Sol Galeo from killing himself. I've been having a headache with it too, but that's because I decided stupid stuff. I decided for some reason I wanted to have Sol Galeo in a Beast Ball. And I don't know if Sol Galeo actually registers as an Ultra Beast, so the catch rate is probably utter garbage. And I've got one Beast Ball, so it's like knock Solgaleo down, put him to sleep, throw Beast Ball, restart game. Anyways. Okay, so you're the one I already washed. Are you the one I didn't wash? I got 3 Dittos, I'm trying to figure out which one's which. So I just remembered I gotta tell Creature something too, because not only did I finish Sun and Moon anime, I've gotten partway through Journeys, so I can confirm for Creature that he's not the only one. Fucking Pokeballs in the Journeys anime are bullshit.
I kind of had a feeling you would say that.
So I know why they're bullshit too. It's because they're trying to, like, they always kind of follow the gimmicks and stuff of their games for each one of the animes. And the big popular game during Journeys was not just Sword and Shield, it was also Pokemon Go. Yeah.
Hence why we have a character named Go.
Hence why he just throws Pokeballs, never really, very seldomly battles Pokemon and just keeps catching them. Also, there's one other thing that makes me mad.
Aside from the obvious.
Yeah. So, one of the things that Go does is he talks about how his whole strategy for catching Pokemon is to get extra effect by throwing the curveball. And, that was a thing that the community was mad about for a while. Not while watching the anime either.
No,
because
you
the
couldn't do the curveball.
No, you could do the curveball. The curveball didn't do anything. There was no increase to the catch rate. The only thing the curveball did was give you extra experience points to yourself. You got a bonus point for using the curveball, but there was no thing to the catch rate. Yet, you can see why some people were extra mad, because they just kept on, because Go just kept on talking about the anime, how he get an extra, how he catch better with his curveballs. It doesn't do anything. I think eventually they finally added mechanics that gave you bonuses on catch rates for throwing curveballs.
The balls,
But it took them
they
a little
do
bit.
nothing.
The balls, they do nothing. Also, they keep on forgetting other balls exist. Go literally threw a Pokeball, just a regular Pokeball at Zapdos, and was surprised that Zapdos blew it up. That's sit there for a bit while I eat some food, and I'm gonna turn on. I can feel actually the cold already starting to set in inside the truck, so I think I'm gonna actually turn on the bunk heater. 1, 2, and that should stir it up. Actually hoping it doesn't turn out to be super hot when I get down to Georgia, because I don't like idling the truck at night. The actual big thing about it is I haven't had to do it for so long. As I had to do it a couple times with the older truck, but the newer truck usually runs good in the winter. So I haven't had to do it for so long that it might have a hard time sleeping if I have to idle it all night. As long as it's not minus 20, I usually have to do it, so. There, have a ball to play with, everybody. I'm gonna eat some food.
Yay, food.
Yay, food. I'll connect the switch up when creature gets back.
Well, I'm going to try and just use the sand shrew instead of evolving into the sand slash. So, yeah. I'm going to see if I can do this within reason. Yes, I know, it is madness.
It is only madness if it fails and you try to keep doing it repeatedly. At that point, it's either madness or it's Windows.
Why not both?
Why not both?
Alright, and how do you level up the Galarians?
The Galarian Slowpokes.
I should have said Lowlands, but you know what I'm getting at.
What were you talking about? What Pokemon were you talking about?
The ones required and for the challenge.
Oh, yeah, that one. So I got lucky.
I know, you caught evolved already.
No, I think I'm thinking of a different challenge. Sorry about that. There's a challenge you have coming up, which is you have to complete a battle to get one of the Elite Fours, right? But you can only battle with Pokemon that you have caught in the terrarium.
That is where I'm at. I'm at that fucker.
Oh, well, you don't have to, like, it doesn't have to be a Alolan. It can be any Pokemon you caught in the terrarium.
Nope.
No,
Like,
it can be any
the
Pokemon you
trial.
caught in the
The
terrarium.
trial part of it.
Yeah, the trial part of it is you battle with any you battle another trainer with a group of Pokemon that you caught in the terrarium.
Yes, but they
You
ask
going
for
up-
specific ones.
it's not the same trial I'm talking about then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
it's
currently on the
must be
dragon
different.
one, the last one.
Yeah, no, but it's not specific ones. It's anyone. I'll check this because, like, I didn't go out and catch any new ones. I had a bunch on my team already. I just shifted in all the ones that I had caught and trained in the terrarium. And like I had, like one of them was a Dodrio, so that wasn't a lowland variant or anything. There was also like, so the specifics is they have to be caught in the terrarium. They can't be traded. They can't be from raids. They have to have been caught in the terrarium. That's all I can remember from it. Give me a
Didn't you
second
also
here.
have to do 3 other people before they would fight you?
Yeah, no, that's what you do with those Pokemon that you caught in the terrarium.
Yes.
You fight those 3 other people.
Yes, and they have
Yeah.
specific Pokemon.
Well, they have specific Pokemon they're battling with. Oh, is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. I thought you said you had to have specific Pokemon.
No.
No, okay, I get it now then. Alright,
Hence
sorry about
me
that.
going through and saying sons of bitches.
Okay, I missed the Sons of Vicious. Yeah, no, you gotta work your way all through that. By the way, when you battle him, you don't need to keep those Pokemon.
I figured.
Which worked for me because I had a whole other team set up for him.
They are sandy bitches. That's what they are. That's all they ever have been.
I think actually one of the Pokemon I used for that one was actually Luna. The Primarina. Because I had geared up that Primarina so it terrestrialized as fairy. And them both set up differently. One of them sets to terrestrializes water, and one of them sets to terrestrializes fairy. The one that terrestrializes water has its ability changed to its secondary ability, which converts all singing related moves into water moves.
So I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
I had to take care of a minor medical emergency.
I hope no one's overly hurt.
No. My dad was stuck on the dialysis machine with no way to get off of it.
Ow.
Let's do it.
And not so much ow, more like okay, I'm sitting here with tubes in me. How am I gonna not have tubes in me?
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, I think the only thing I don't have is Rampardos. And I'll fly to the rest area and see if Bastiodon will spawn or Shieldon. Because I reload the terrarium.
Like I say, I can show you where they pop out around. There's an area where they kind of show up a lot. A lot of Skarmory in that area too.
I have not seen Skarmory yet, so... Well, I haven't really...
They're up on a plateau in the cliff area, kind of overlooking the Sahara area.
Yeah.
I think I just had a feeling where it would be one of the many ones that have bridges to them.
I'm trying to remember. I can't quite remember. Guess I gotta make a sandwich and then do some stuff.
You make sandwich. Eat. It's late.
Oh, not that type of
Oh,
sandwich.
and I have found him.
Perfect.
Creature, I'm getting your shield on.
Okay, I'm hopping in. Can you remind me what you needed or wanted?
The
or-
Rampados or Craniodos? Your version of the dino.
Radiodos.
Yep. A little raptor.
Oh,
Well, the Packy
Traded
template's
me once, so
yours,
I got
but you
lucky.
know what I mean.
The hard-headed dude.
okay. Don't confuse me with things that should be in. I'm gonna focus on what things are. Okay. My boxes. Actually, I want to know what I'm looking for. Radiodos.
I'm looking for eggs. There's a Pokemon egg inside. Oh, it's another Pokemon egg. More Pokemon eggs.
Okay, how do you spell it?
Okay. Cranium?
Oh, see. Okay. Cranium dose. Okay, I know exactly what I'm looking for. I was really confused by how it was being said. Yes, I know exactly what I'm looking
And I got the shield on so I can give that to you.
for. Okay.
Find my team. Half it over. Move the dittos back.
Hey, guess what?
Hmm.
I don't have any. Let's go get one.
Probably in the same place that the shield on is in my game.
Probably. Probably.
And I see.
I don't remember yet now, anyways.
And I'll get myself online.
Yeah, you're gonna have to be patient for
Gonna search up. Is there something I want to do before I do that?
There is so much about the new computer that needs to get properly configured. Like, it's actually one of my least favorite things.
Yeah, I can imagine, because used to how the old one was, and now you have to deal with a new one, and stuff may be in the same spot, but it doesn't function right.
Okay. Hey, guess what I just found?
Granados,
Oh yeah,
not.
it's the first one I saw when I got to the area, and I'm going to catch this in a repeat ball.
Recreate the Corel. What was the one I wanted?
It did not catch in the repeat ball. I hate life.
Oh, have you got it before?
Next time they fight me.
I definitely have. That's how it verified I didn't have one.
You obviously don't have the. You obviously don't have the bullshit balls from the Pokemon Journey series.
Yeah,
Oh,
Sean,
yeah.
Sean is actually watching that now.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
I see why you're
Enjoy
mad at the balls. Also, I got extra mad because fucking Go talks about how he's using his curveball to get extra effect, and everybody was mad at Pokemon Go because the curveball did nothing.
The style
It-
does nothing.
Okay. Okay, so it actually does add like probably 2 to 5% of a higher catch rate, but it also just makes the game easier to play.
Yeah. So the curveball does add a higher catch rate, but that was added because people complained about the fact that the curveball didn't add a higher catch rate.
No, probably. But, no, the more disingenuous thing about the anime is there's a time where the Rotom deck says, "Nice throw."
Nice throw.
Hold on.
Nice cock.
Hold on, let me get nice throw!
No, it's not annoying. It's not annoying robot characters except for one, and that's owned by Team Rocket.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they left the other Rotom decks back in the in
Alola, I know.
And
Alola.
which by the way does make an appearance at one point.
I've gotten that far actually.
You have?
Yeah, I've gotten far enough that they did their trip to Alola. I don't know whether they do any more trips. I know they've done one. I've been for one trip.
Okay, so you're decently far along.
Yeah. Actually, I can tell you how far along I am, but I can also tell you where my spoilers would begin. I've looked at the name of episodes, and I'm pretty sure I'm approaching the beginning of the Sword and Shield story.
Okay, so you're coming
Yeah.
up to the end of Journeys, and we'll then go on to Ultimate Series.
I think so.
I'm still kind of pleased that we did get to see the original Mewtwo again. And also confirming once more, there are now 2 Mewtwo's in the anime.
There's only one Mewtwo that shows up in Journeys, which is fine because there's only
I know, but...
Okay, so I'm laughing because for some
I know
reason
you
I
are.
thought because for some reason I was gonna say I thought there was a female one too, and then I remembered no, that was an animation that was making fun of another skit.
No, there's
Where did he fall? In the hole. When that appeared.
No. I know that.
Did you
when
call the
that-
police? Yeah, I called the police. Where are they? They're in the hole.
I know that. That's Tom Scar. The dude that does the after movies, whole sketch with the animation done by TC96.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
they go.
and technically, because of the Genesect movie showing a second Mewtwo and Jenny's confirming that there are 2 different Mewtwo's, we have 2 Mewtwo's.
See, as Creature said, there's only one Mewtwo.
And Jenny,
only
yeah.
one Mewtwo.
This is before.
There's a lot of Jennies. They're all
no.
related to each other.
I went to see. I finally had a chance to see what you said to me, and I'm like, yeah, I actually have that one saved in my favorites. There's actually another good. It's another good Vaporeon copy pasta one, but it's the copy pasta. See if I can find it.
Oh, look, a second Cleavor. Do I want this? Eh, why not?
Why? I don't understand this at all. I don't like it. There we go. Oh. Okay, I have your head dino.
And I have your shield dino.
Yay. Okay, so in all fairness to the Sword and Shield thing, they do go. They do go to that region like a few times, but there's one collection of episodes where it's just the plot of the game.
Game.
Like I say, I looked at a couple of the episode names that are coming up, and I'm like, yeah, no, this seems like it's just this. I could be wrong, but it kind of smacks of me of being the plot of the game, because all of the episode names seem to be related to the game. So, I don't know, maybe I'm at the wrong ones, but I will find out. I haven't started those episodes yet because of that. Where was I looking for? I was going to put this one because I can in the voice text chat here. Or no, actually I'll put in the Pokemon chat.
Since we have that now, thank you, creature.
Yeah.
I did it because I was getting annoyed of. So I was getting annoyed of seeing like the chat, the gaming chat being bombarded with a flood for one topic, and then we were getting in the middle of that, and they were showing displeasure.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, we're stepping on each other, and this is easily remedied. So why
Yeah.
haven't we done this yet? So
Yeah.
Well, in
Exactly.
fairness, we really didn't have that much of an active gaming culture until recently.
Yeah.
If
It kind of.
if there is a want for other gaming channels, then they can be made too.
No,
Yeah.
that's understandable and fair.
Alright. There you go. I put that Vaporeon pasta video in there
Oh,
from NCH Productions.
I can't wait.
Watch it again.
Oh god.
Oh no, I killed Cleavor. Alright.
Don't copy pasta.
Okay, that was good.
Yeah. He had a couple of those. They hit a couple of those after they did their. They did a big. Well, have you seen the Underground Eevees video?
No.
Okay, so he did a big music video thing up, and he had gotten some questions and stuff on him. And that was one of the videos. The other one was the fact that so he did it when he did his Espeon and Umbreon animation. His Espeon and Umbreon characters he used for that, he didn't give Espeon the Espe. He. I don't know if he forgot. I don't know if they forgot or if they what it was, but they forgot the Espeon whiskers. And somebody asked where were the Espeon whiskers. And I'll get you the answer here in a second.
Yeah, well, I found something I need to watch.
CH Productions. I don't know if they're still going to be doing Pokemon animations or not because YouTube bullshit. The YouTube bullshit of this is a kids related video. We're marking this as kids. Congratulations.
Right.
Yeah.
And you say, this is not for kids. No, it's for kids.
Kids.
Oh, I found the Whiskers video.
Yeah.
Okay, I have the thing being set, and I'll double check it real quick. It's the standard one I've been using.
One less question the cheek. Do not question the cheek fluff.
Do not question the cheek fluff.
The cheek floof is necessary. It is all that matters. Three. And there, go there.
What? Someone left all the garbage.
Okay. Someone just tried to trade me a shiny, the like final form of
So I'm
Porygon.
watching the.
So I know that's not creature.
I'm not even online right now.
Yes. So that's why I'm
So
like,
someone tried to send you a Porygon Z.
yep, shiny, and I'm like, I appreciate that, but I don't trust you.
I mean, they probably got it from from surprise trading.
Yep.
Okay, portal. No, okay. I am online. Hey, your problem is that you're streaming right now.
Yep.
Actually, that's not.
Well, I turned it
Yeah,
off.
yeah. Pick a different code.
Will do. Cause
Yeah.
I do this. I transfer.
Yeah, you might. Yeah, you might want to hide your code while you're doing that.
I'm able to. The
I'm
first
get
few
the-
digits are there, but not the last bits.
I'm gonna catch a Resher before we do anything.
Okay, I see how you're doing it now. Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
That it's safer that way.
okay.
Do it.
Ooh.
How are you? Here's your. Good. Blah 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 blah. Fine.
Do not
Oh.
kill Reshiram. You have one instruction: do not kill Reshiram.
What? Kill Reshiram with one shot? You got it, boss.
Luckily, you did not kill Reshiram. I have one Pokemon that knows False Swipe, and it's probably not going to do well against Reshiram. I can't remember what Reshiram's typing is, but isn't one of those typings
If I wasn't
fire?
waiting for Toa's code, I could tell you.
Like one of those
I
typings is
put
fire. Yeah, no, that went well.
I put
You
it
killed it, didn't you?
in this chat. Yeah.
No, I just lost the one Pokemon in head that knew Fury swipes, or not false swipes.
Okay.
Because
Toa, what's
grass.
your fucking code?
Okay, I'll put it in the daycare thing since I'm still used to the other way.
Oh, you put it in that one. Okay, I got it.
Yeah. I was putting it in Save in the World, but Save in the World is being tricky.
They use Lunala to try to do this because Lunala knows hypnosis.
It's gonna confusing punch itself to death.
But it don't got no fist!
It's gonna slap itself to death with its extra fur.
Telling Toa earlier, he was reminding me too. You know who it turns out everybody's been having trouble with?
Hmm.
Solgaleo.
Solgaleo. Okay.
because it keeps murdering itself.
Huh?
It's got it.
If it-
It's
If it's the one I'm thinking of, my problem is. Oh wait, no. Okay, yeah. Why can't I speak today? Holy shit! Yeah, that was a problem with me too. I kind of forgot because I was so mad I just threw a master ball at it.
yeah. No, everybody's been having problems with it. I actually found tricks to catch it without that though. Um,
Oh, well, why
people
don't you have an
made
Espeon?
guides.
Because I haven't really went to con it. I'm not EV obsessed as many people are. That's my sister.
Yeah, but some of us are EV obsessed. I can get used to me. I can get you
know.
EVs.
I know if I really want to fill out the Pokédex, if I ever want to fill out the Pokédex quickly, I just come to you, Short.
I still got a
Where
bunch
did I
in.
keep
The,
with it?
I still have a bunch I have to fill. I still have a bunch I have to get in the.
Living Dex?
Well, no, in the Indigo Disc decks. Okay. We're put you out there, and I'm just gonna start throwing balls right now. See if one sticks. I keep on forgetting to start these matches off with a quick ball. It's like the simplest plan it's like the simplest plan ever, and I keep forgetting it.
Yay! I have a Sheldon. I can grow up into a nice, strong thing.
And I have a Craniados. Okay, and I think that will be all for the moment.
Airball.
How do I evolve you?
Level it
You
up.
just
Ball
need.
them.
Yep.
Also, did you see the name I gave it?
No, I didn't catch that.
I named it Sheldon.
I'm gonna check.
Probably misspelled Sheldon, but still, it's Sheldon.
I'll throw a great ball at you. Come on. Because Rowdy fainted. Crap. My Blastoise is still a low level. Well, let's hope it can absorb the fire moves. Keep doing that Reshiram, and eventually I'm just gonna fucking give Lunala a revive and bring Lunala back and catch you with Lunala. Managed to get the health down a little further on Reshiram without killing it. Actually, Lunala's not fainted. He's a full restore.
Oh, hi,
19.
Caddy! Nice to see you pop into my chat while I do Pokemon with my friends. Caddy's one of the people that helps run ponies online.
Oh, hey. We Pokemoning. I can't get Reshiram to get in the ball.
Get in my ball!
Surprisingly, after all the trouble it's been giving me over the past few days.
Timer ball.
No, you're doing good, Caddy. It also could be internet, because I'm... Yeah.
Let's. Why is hypnosis? Is there a reason why hypnosis is not working? Hypnosis can be stubborn, but it's not usually this stubborn.
Okay.
I just keep using hyper voice against me. There is no reason it hasn't been working, because it worked. If I get the words Reshiram has woken up, I'm gonna be unhappy.
You're gonna be unhappy.
Yep, but not yet. I was like, put Reshiram to sleep. Reshiram wakes up immediately. Wouldn't that be great?
I've
No,
seen
but
it
you're not
happen.
gonna get in the ball. Reshiram woke up the second turn though,
Oh no!
and used hyper voice. This is either a good sign or a bad sign. Well, it's kind of a good sign because hyper voice doesn't do anything to Lunala. Because ghost. Ooh, spooky ghost. Ooh, I'm a ghost. Just choose a ball and get into it. Yeah, no, you're either going to get in the ball or you're just going to sit there and sleep angrily.
So, so
That's it. So what?
there's one episode that actually does something pretty cool.
Yeah.
That goes into like morality of like catching a caught Pokemon, kind of, but it's the closest like they're ever gonna get.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say what the Pokemon is, but it's actually got a decent twist to it.
They have some pretty good. Like the animes had some pretty good stories at different points. And a few for surprisingly sad storylines during the Sun and Moon arc. So like I say, the one thing I've noticed about the series though is the bullshit around the Pokeballs.
Yeah, they're definitely going for the Pokemon Go
Yeah.
route of plot convenience.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just gonna throw a Pokeball and catch everything. Yep. I'm gonna throw a Pokeball at Zapdos and be surprised when it blows it up.
What? No.
Why? Twice.
Exactly.
At least they didn't let go keep that one.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need a freaking terrarium filled with legendary Pokemon.
No, that's something we needed.
But yeah, at that point, Go hasn't caught in a single legendary, I don't think.
No, not at that point.
Yeah. I mean, okay. I know we're not counting pseudo legendaries in this, but you could technically make the argument that both Go and Ash technically have a legendary in some sort.
Yeah.
Do we want to count the fact that there's at least one Latios that had a crush on Ash? Or do you want to move past
mean-
that?
Actually,
Yeah,
so the
that's
funny,
fine.
the funny thing with Latias is there's more to that later on too in the final acts of Ash's story too. But it's also probably a different Latias.
Probably because that's never referenced.
Yeah, exactly. I know a lot about that because there was a guy I was watching on YouTube who was I started watching YouTube who was talking about that. I don't know whatever happened to that guy's channel because it kind of got
Okay.
nuked for a bunch of copyright strikes.
Good.
Okay, what... Do you remember the name of his channel?
No. So here's the thing I can remember. You know how sometimes some of these people who are doing stuff will use like a well, the equivalent of a PNG tuber model. They'll have like a image that they'll use to represent them with different animations and stuff,
Did he
or
have
like
a
just
sword?
different states. You know what?
Did he have a sword?
No, he was a Vulpix,
Okay.
a Lowland Vulpix.
Oh, I remember that channel.
Yeah. And he actually seemed to enjoy Pokemon, which is sad that he got his channel nuked.
I would sure hope that he enjoyed it if he was making content about it.
Yeah. Although I don't know who nuked his channel either, so. Because there can be shenanigans around that too. Because people are bullshit.
Yes, yes we are. We are ultra bullshit. We are the massive mounds of bullshit.
So actually, before I do anything else, give me a second. I am actually gonna get into the bunk right now. Now that I am done the FUDs.
It's cold outside.
Oh. Yeah. Well, too bad in here the bunk heater's running now, so that's heating the rest of the interior of the truck here, so. As long as it doesn't go down to like -20 tonight, I should double check that right now. Because if it's gonna go down that cold tonight, I probably won't do it now because as I was saying to you earlier, I don't sleep well in it, but if it's gonna drop down that much, I want to set a time for a couple hours so I can even if I do go to sleep before that time comes around, I'd want to set that time so I could get up, just hop up into the front seat and run the truck for a while every so often. Keep the engine block from cooling off too much. Diesel does not like cold temperatures. Gas doesn't always like cold temperatures too, but they have to be really cold for gas, not so much for diesel. I think even at this temperature right now, if it was using a gas car, you don't even so. Like, you'll see people like even at temperatures like this, you'll see people will go out and warm their cars up. You don't actually have to warm your car up. Like if you jumped into a car at this temperature, a gas-powered car. Let's specify. A gas-powered car at this temperature, if you jumped into it, started it up and took off, it'll run all right, it'll warm up as it goes along. It's not going to cause any problems. A diesel at this temperature... Yeah.
So for a gas powered, it is recommended that you at least let your car idle for a certain point, not so much of warming up, but to make sure all the fluids are present.
Yeah. Yeah. But that
And
point
on-
isn't. Yeah, that point isn't very long, even at these temperatures.
No, generally on a gas-powered car, you want your engine to be revving at less than 1,000 RPM before you begin driving, just to make sure that everything's going or everything's good.
Yeah.
You don't have to, but it's recommended.
Recommended, but it's like you don't have as many serious problems. With a diesel, it tends to be a different story. You actually want to let a diesel idle up for quite a bit on a cold day.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Actually, usually with this truck, I try for about 15 minutes before I start going anywheres with it. And I don't know whether they have this for like diesel cars and diesel pickup trucks and stuff. But so one of the features that the big diesel trucks, like the big diesel transports we have is it's got a fast idle setting on it. It's called. You can, when you hop into the truck and you start the diesel, in this truck, if you hit the cruise and hit the cruise speed, the button to increase the speeds on the cruise, it'll put the truck into what's called fast idle, so it'll rev up to it'll rev up to about 1,000 RPM, and just hold at that. But you really want to do that because at these temperatures, the oil in a diesel tends to gel. So it's no longer a fluid. So you kind of want to let it heat up before you start revving it. You start working it. So all the fluids are warm and stuff. Cars, I don't know what the stats on for cars, but they tend to not need as much babying in the cold weather. Also, I just realized I have a lot of gear this week. I have a lot of drinks this week. I actually know exactly what happened too. I just realized it. I was only supposed to bring one of the big lemonade bottles out, and I brought them both out instead. I keep one at home and take one with me, and then I'll pick the second one up on the next week of work and take it with me. But I forgot to do that, and it'll be alright. I'll just leave it out in the truck. Ugh. Hot. I was trying to find, what was I doing? I needed to make sure too. Oh, there we go. I need to take my, before I do anything else too, I need to take my bag of clothes and sort them all out into their proper piles. And then use the one bag of clothes, one clothing bag I use for everything, and start putting the dirty laundry back into it. I actually gotta see, I'm thinking about if I want to get the new truck, I'm gonna see if there's somewhere else I can set the clothes, because I've got a suitcase out here, but I don't actually move my clothes with the suitcase. What I do is I've got a big laundry bag and I put all my dirty clothes in there, and then I take it into the house at the end of the week, and I clean the laundry bag along with all the clothes in it, and I just put all the clean clothes into that bag and drag it back out to the truck.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm thinking when I swap trucks around here whenever they get another one ready for me. Whenever they get the new one ready. I'm just gonna not bother with the... I'm not gonna bother with trying to get the suitcase out into it. I'm just gonna find something else that I can set clothes into.
I've got ×2 item bonus active.
Hooray! All Evilite.
All evil.
What?
All evilite.
Well, I'm just dumping all my materials into this thing and just upgrading it. You were challenged by Ray, the student.
Over here.
I haven't even been paying attention as to what I'm getting, if I'm being honest.
So I do find one of the things that, especially as you get the better versions of the game, they do actually drop a lot of sellable items. So you're probably secretly making yourself rich again.
I did notice I got a big pearl in the last one. Hey, I got a gold. What did I get with the gold? Amulet.
Yo! I never named. Oh right, you gotta actually name. Well, you say no. That's the trade box. Pressure Ram, you go over to the team box 6. Where there's apparently another. Okay, what's happening? Oh, I know what's happening here.
Egg nugget.
One of the Pokemon I caught in a raid and had meant to set aside for trading is not in the right box. There's no room in the trading box either because it's full of eggs.
And make egg box.
Eggs in these trying times. You want some Poplios in these trying times?
Sure, you know you can flood the frickin' nation with those.
I got a whole bunch of them named. So Poplios, I have Diesel, Poppy, Leo, Evit, and Ash. And for the Snivies, I've got Derek, Azriel, Torque, and Slick.
Okay, I got the final upgrade. Let's see if the game will give me a Master Ball. Probably not.
Oh, so... What was I gonna say? Oh! It might actually give you, you'd be surprised, but probably through the Pokeball Lotto, or whatever it's called.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. That drops Master Balls every so often.
How do you
I've got
do the
two from it so far.
Pokeball Lotto?
So, Pokeball Lotto is random chance, you just keep on spamming the, after you've upgraded... After you've got your upgrades done to your... to the item printer, you just keep spamming through it, and every so often it'll glow. So you know when it did the double, right?
Yeah.
It'll do the same thing, except it'll be rainbow patterns, and it'll announce Pokeball Lotto, and the next items you get will all be Pokeballs of different type, along with possibility of rare Pokeballs.
Okay.
So, I give you actually an example of because it actually, so like, the rare Pokeballs it gives you, it introduced a couple that it hasn't thrown into the game yet. Or actually, what is it? So, actually, no, it introduced one that at least I haven't got from the Pokedex yet. I think the second one was the Pokedex does give you one, which is a Safari Ball. But also it gives you event balls from the bug catching event in Gold and Silver. Who did I put in the event ball? I have Star in the event ball. It's Servine. I might have it in the event ball because the shiny Snivy I'm trying to get, want it to be in an event ball, so you just make sure the Pokemon you're breeding it from's in the event ball. And luckily I don't think they take any of the, I don't think at any points I don't think they ever inherit the ball from the Ditto. I believe if you have like a male and female Pokemon, it tends to inherit the ball from the female, but will inherit the ball from the male every so often. But I think if you have the Ditto, it just doesn't inherit the Ditto's ball. I like decorating my Pokeball sets because I'm more interesting than the anime. Actually, so were we gonna try to do some
I'm down.
BBQ stuff tonight, or were we gonna try next week?
Well, I'm here and available if you two are.
It's already like 9 o'clock. I think it's a little late.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, I was gonna say if if we thought about it earlier, maybe, but yeah, I probably would have about an hour, and then I gotta hit the road. So that's why I was thinking whether we maybe try to schedule to do some of it next week.
Yeah, and there might be another
Depending
raid
on
by
whether-
then.
Yeah, depending on what they throw for us for another raid, though, too.
And
But-
then the week after that, I'm at Harmony.
Okay, so we'll see what happens next week. But if they do another raid next week, we'll probably end up doing that because I don't know. Is Circuit going to Harmony or?
No, he's not.
Okay. But still, you'll be going to Harmony, so we'll try to
Yeah.
do the raid then.
Yeah. Oh, as I pointed out, this is just a fun little hangout thing. Chill, relax.
Some items. Let's see if I can get some more Pokeballs too. Turn handles. Rare Bones, Zinc, Experience Candy Small, Floating Terra Shard, Stardust, Upgrade Magnet. Yeah, no, you can get a lot of good items from that item printer. Actually, so one of the things I like about the item printer is it takes a little bit sometimes to get the Pokeball Lotto to come up, but it gives you much better results in the Pokeball Lotto than the Cramorant did, or the thing from Sword and Shield did. Also, are you running 10 items at a time for your Pokeball stuff, creature?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Took me a second to figure that out when I first did it, so that's why I was asking. Like, I see these pictures of 10 items. Why am I only getting one? Oh, I should have read the screen. Did you know this game has buttons?
No, I did not.
What?
A game having buttons? Blasphemy.
Game having a game with controls. Oh my.
No, we played Connect last year.
This old-fashioned game with controls.
You know, something neat that MatPat just did? It was... go... Alright, since he has a young child, well, that is starting to learn about gaming, he actually had the question of, what is a good way to introduce a kid to this? Because when most of us were relatively young, we only had like 2 action buttons, a D-pad, pause, and select, right?
Yeah.
So how do you try and teach a kid whenever we have 2 joysticks, a D-pad, triggers on either side, 4 face buttons, pause, select, and whatever exclusive or thing for that controller?
So I would say it depends on how young they are, because if they're if they're old enough that you're giving them a game controller, you just give them the classic PlayStation / Xbox style controller to play with, because that's what most games tend to use nowadays, and that's probably the greatest one to start off with. If you have a kid, you might want to, like, I see them kicking around. There's like cheaper controllers that you could probably give to them for that. So if you wanted to, but yeah, no, I would think, like, the reason we keep using these controllers is because they're kind of fairly well intuitive into doing what you want to do. So
I would say.
you're probably, yeah, go ahead.
No, I would say if you're really concerned with games being overly complicated, then go back to an older generation that didn't have as many buttons.
True. On his list of the 10 steps that he suggested, Mario, like Super Mario Brothers, the first game, was step 8, because of you having to use B for multiple things and holding B to run, and then using B and A to jump.
So I would say Sonic would be a good first
That I think that was like
because you could technically play that game on an Atari, on an Atari joystick.
Sonic, I think, was at either level 5 or 4. Mainly because that, as you said, it is a joystick with one button input that can easily do everything. But
now when it gets, sorry.
Yeah, that's all good.
No, go ahead.
Basically, he also has the, and this is the one with fail states and without fail states. So for Sonic, I think Sonic Origins, you can play as Sonic and Tails in all the games. Just have the kid be Tails and they'll be invulnerable as long as Sonic is not being played. So
Sonic 2.
Yeah. Well, no, Origins allows you to do it on any of the classics.
So all the classics have a little brother mode.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. So I think another thing too is that you get a age is a thing to remember here, and the other thing you have to remember is not to overcomplicate it enough, because a lot of people, like, back when I learned how to play video games, I learned by myself because I had parents that were too old to have grown up or anything. Like, I had parents that were too old to be have any tie to video games because they grew up in the 50s and 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, a lot of the stuff I learned from video games, I learned from myself. My parents, probably at about, I can't remember when it was. I think it might have been like 6 years old, bought me a Game Boy. And that's how I learned to play video games.
There was a time when my parents tried to get into video games, and that's what introduced me and my brother to it.
Yeah. Sometimes, like, there's probably stuff you can teach a kid about video games, but I think even with a modern controller, there is also probably a little bit of also let them have a go at it. They might learn it intuitively by themselves too.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, kids absolutely have the mental fortitude to figure out like a lot of buttons.
Yeah.
It's when you combine a lot of those buttons into different move inputs that gets really complicated.
Mm-hmm.
You might not want to. Yeah, you might want to. Yeah, that's a good example. You might not want to start off by throwing a fighting game at them.
I wouldn't do that until they were much older anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only one me and my brother were allowed to play was Smash Brothers and Primal Rage.
I actually got Street Fighter 2 as a hand-me-down for the NES. Sorry, SNES.
Hey, you know what? I wasn't allowed to play until I was a teenager, and even then they didn't like it.
What?
Mortal Kombat. Can't even say
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Tekken. They allowed Soul Calibur because half the roster was monsters, but that we didn't play that till we were 15, 16, something like that.
Yeah.
But no, they didn't like the idea of us playing as people with going around beating up and shooting other people.
Which I can understand completely.
Okay, I
was able to convince my parents to let me get Time Splitters 3 because a lot of the game is fighting aliens and monsters and whatnot, and a lot of the game that they saw, they confirmed that. So yeah, you can get this game. First mission or second mission, you're fighting in World War II or World War One of some battle.
Yeah. Have you ever heard the I can kind of remember this for a podcast. You ever heard Pat's story about how his parents handled him playing violent video games? Pat had to. They did it interestingly. So as a kid, probably a teenager at the time though, what Pat had to do in order for his parents to buy him a more violent video game was he had to explain the game in a way that let them know that he understood that it was a video game and not real life.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he had to explain it in a way that tell him that he knew this wasn't stuff he could do in real life, and he didn't think other people would do this. He understood it was a work of fiction. It wasn't a simulation of real life.
Yeah, my parents really didn't like GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Realistic.
At the time, they said it was like the most realistic depiction of interactive violence they've ever seen.
In fairness, they weren't fully wrong.
Not entirely.
I was never ahead on consoles as a kid, so I didn't have. I think the first. So when I got my Game Boy, I had the option. I can kind of remember at the time I had the option of either a console or a handheld. Didn't get both. You know, it was I think it was like a Christmas or something, and I had an option of one or the other. And I was kind of fascinated with like portable stuff, so I chose the handheld. So I had the Game Boy. When the Game Boy Color came out, I did some berry picking to get the money to get the Game Boy Color. But I didn't have... I had consoles, but they were always used and usually a generation late when we got them. So like, when the 64 was out, I bought a Super Nintendo off one of my friends. And about the time that the GameCube was getting ready to come out, I got a used, at the time, well, might have been like a year or two before I got a used PlayStation for Christmas. But I think the GameCube was the first one that had brand new out of the box console during the console generation, so I didn't get a lot of that either when I was a kid. We did have a home computer that we put a graphics card in because Dad did do some of his work on a home computer, so we were able to get that. Actually, I never had a 64, but I loved Rogue Squadron, and we put a higher powered graphics card in the home computer because I wanted to play Rogue Squadron, and I had bought it, but it wouldn't run on our computer. I can tell you how old that was, though, because you know what the requirements were? A 64 megabyte graphics card. And we didn't have that. I think there was a graphics card in the computer, but it was only had 32 megabytes of VRAM. But then we bought a ATI. Would it be ATI? Was it ATI? Was it ATI before it was AMD? Yeah. Yes, I think it was an ATI card with the classic 90s, 2000s CGI box.
The first graphic card I ever bought was an 8600 GT, and it came in freaking acrylic. It is a $200 graphic card that came in a broken acrylic case, and the game I got with it was crisis. It couldn't run
the days when
Since
Crisis
that
was
Crisis,
the
yeah.
testing.
Yeah,
the
with
Credit Red
Crisis was like
Crisis.
new.
Yeah.
Can it run
Like-
Crisis?
At 20 FPS, no. No, I think the best I was able to get out of it was maybe like 25, and that was on everything on.
You got any
I
Pokeball
refuse to
loaders
play it
yet?
like that though. What?
You got any Pokeball loaders yet?
Oh, I turned it off a little bit ago.
Okay.
I'm
I mean-
still going because I'm fighting.
I want to see what I can get through Pokeball loaders. I got a level ball and a heavy ball. Also, it took me like, so to give you an idea too, if you try to do the creature, it took me like 7 or 8. It took me like 7 or 8 goes to get the one Pokeball Lotto. Sometimes
Okay.
the results are better, but I ended up with 2 double X rounds instead. So you basically just keep spamming it, and every so often it'll give you a Pokeball Lotto. And it usually gives you at least 2 rare balls, like the ones that they charge a fortune at the auctions for. Like the moon ball, level ball, all that stuff. And I think it's got just about every ball possible. But I think I'm gonna actually drop out here in a second and go to sleep, so
Yeah, probably
I finished the
same
I gotta drive.
Out, have a good night.
Yeah. I gotta
Yep.
cover quite a lot of the distance. They want me to see if I can get to the place I need to get to in Georgia by Monday. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it or not.
Good luck.
All right, thanks. You guys have a good night.
You too.
Yep. Good night.
Night.
And do bring out the Dragon Slayer. Useful. what's next week's side adventure from everyone else? Well, that's not too bad, all things considered. Yep. So, and that all being said, I have work in the morning, so have a good night, people. Be good people. And who knows what the crazy adventure has in store. I don't. Till then, good night.